word of caution before diving in. This isn't your grandmother's Little House on the Prairie. The following episodes contain adult themes, profanity, and potentially traumatizing realizations about a show you loved as a child. Listener discretion is advised. Carolyn Ingalls would most definitely not approve.
They just find a kid and they're like, your parents are dead? Come with me.
Charles. I don't know why my voice got so
that was deep. Not gonna be getting any double jacking tonight.
No double jacking. No single jacking either. Well.
Heard it here. Michael Landon invented the duck clip.
What's up, bonnet babes and boys? Welcome to Little House Big Opinions, where we delve into the drama, tragedy, and heartfelt moments of a show that was a pillar of our childhood. So buckle up, because it's about to be a wild ride.
You know the show, Little House on the Prairie. There was lots of drama, and some of the episodes were pretty scary. So we created this podcast. Get ready to have a blast. This is Little House Big Opinions. Grab your bonnets and let's go.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of Little House.
Big Opinions. Today, Season 1, Episode 8.
9? Isn't it?
I don't know. We're never gonna get this right.
Every time. Let's see. It's called Ma's Holiday.
Yeah, we know that much.
Let's verify. Oh, you're right. But, oh, look, it has 1-1. Wait.
Whoa.
I don't understand what's happening.
Google's messing us up here.
It has the episodes listed twice. Harvest of Friends. They have a Harvest of Friends listed as 1.
So this is 9.
So this is 9.
Yeah.
If you're calling pilot, this is 8. If you're calling pilot 1, this is 9.
It doesn't matter because it's all prairie.
It's all just the prairie. Beginning of the prairie.
And this episode is called Ma's Holiday.
This is another fun one.
It is a fun one. It's a cute one, classic.
Wholesome. We have some fun Charles and Carolyn moments.
Have some fun Carrie moments. I feel like
Yes.
we really see Carrie shine in this episode.
That's one of the things that I noted that I really liked. And Mr. Edwards.
And yeah,
I feel like this is where we get more of his fatherly personality.
Yes.
Coming in.
So we open with...
Well, lore.
Oh, I don't have any for this.
Let's see. Let's see if we can find some Mr. Edwards lore on the fly real quick. I know that... Oh, I did see something, actually. So, Pa always has kind of like a sidekick friend that he's kind of always helping out. And I feel like Mr. Edwards is the one that's kind of the quirky, unhinged friend. And then in the later episodes, we have...
Jonathan Garvey?
Jonathan. And Jonathan's kind of more the, wholesome, fatherly, good husband friend, similar to Charles. There are, I don't believe, any episodes where we see Mr. Edwards and Jonathan
Together.
And the actors did not get along.
Interesting. They both wanted Michael Landon for themselves.
Yeah, they were both just jealous of each other. If that's true, we don't know. That could just be lore.
But that's what lore is all about.
Yeah.
Is lore.
Lore is lore.
Okay, so
there you go.
There we go. So now let's jump into the episode. We
Yes.
open on a dinner scene.
Yes.
Yes, they're all sitting around having dinner, and everyone is sharing kind of knowing looks, except for Ma. She's
Yes.
not in on...
And we get a classic Charles,
We're making a face.
a smirk.
We're making a little smirk.
And I did think his little smirk kind of reminds me of the Mary-Kate and Ashley, like, I feel like it's kind of like the first duck lip.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Heard it here. Michael Landon invented the duck lip. I don't know why I said it like that. Duck lip. But that he did. So they're kind of all, like, making glances at each other, looks, and Ma's like, what's going on?
What is happening, you guys?
What's happening? And then they tell her the surprise.
And he says that he has to go to Mankato to make... Is he delivering something, or is he picking stuff up for Mr. Olson?
He's picking stuff up for
Okay.
Mr. Olson.
So he's going to Mankato to pick stuff up, and he said that Ma should come with him for a second honeymoon.
And, of course, her immediate thought is...
Charles!
You can't leave the girls.
You can't be serious.
The girls can't stay here alone. He says, I've already got it taken care of. Grace is going to watch them.
Look at him taking initiative.
So he's got a plan, and now that, she's like, okay, we have a babysitter, she's down for it.
I did think that it was funny how the girls were so excited for her. Like, they were
Yeah.
like, Ma, you have to go. You have to. And I don't know if that's just because they really wanted her to have a fun time, or they were just like, go, leave.
Maybe
and they wanted
a little
fun.
Yeah, but I feel like Grace is pretty, like, strict.
Yeah.
Not strict, but just, like, I don't think she would let them get away with much. So.
Which I don't think that we learn about her kids in this early, but I know that she has kids later on that are a little bit older.
Yeah. I think her and
her
Mr.
first
Edwards adopt kids.
Everyone's out here adopting kids
Yeah,
on this show.
they
just, like, find them?
There's a lot of adoptions. And it's just so easy, too. They just, like, find a kid and they're like, your parents are dead? Come with me. But, anyways. Yeah, lots of adoptions. So Grace has kids later on. But, yeah, I feel like they're probably just excited for Ma to have a trip just because they're such darling little children that
of course.
love their mom.
Of course.
But Grace is sick.
Yes, and she tells Charles, I'm just sick about this. And it might be one of the worst acting sick scenes I've ever seen.
Yes. She really just kind of, like, looks and talks like what I sounds like when I get up to, in the morning, and I don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like a scrunched up face, and she's like, maybe if I bundled up really good.
Or, like, exactly how you would act if you were trying to get out of work.
Yeah. Yeah. But so obviously she cannot watch the children, so Pa comes back home.
Dejected.
Disappointed. And he apologizes to Carolyn, but he's like, hey, don't got no one to watch the little ones, so
yeah.
I guess I'm going by myself. And Carolyn is disappointed too, but she's just kind of like,
it's
well,
okay.
maybe it's for the best.
I did note right before he gets home, the girls are with Carolyn. Like, she's kind of bustling about doing things and saying, make sure you do this and this and this. And then they see Pa coming up, and she's like, oh no, I'm not ready. And then she just puts in one bobby pin.
That's all it takes. One bobby pin.
Yep.
Saves the day. But so I think they go inside, right? And then, or Charles and Carolyn do.
Yeah.
And then down the street towards the Ingalls house comes good old Mr. Edwards singing the classic Old Dan Tucker.
Yes.
Yes. So I realized when in the first episode that we talk about this song, we talk about how
we always thought it was Old Dan Tucker,
but it's Old Man Tucker, but really we meant the opposite. We always thought it was Old Man Tucker, but really it's Old Dan Tucker.
Yeah.
We got it wrong. We're still getting it wrong.
Yeah. Just like the episode numbers. Josh and I were listening to it in the car, and we were talking about that, and he was like, it's definitely Old Dan Tucker, and y'all always call it Old Man Tucker.
Samuel said the same thing. He was like, what are you talking about? Like, you guys don't even know what you...
We're just so excited to talk about the Prairie.
Right.
No time to fact check.
But
that's not actually true. We do fact check.
So,
Don't worry.
He comes walking down the road, and the girls run up to greet him, and basically, like, without explaining to him what they're asking, they're just like, we wouldn't be in any trouble, please, 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 you know, and he's like, please what? Like, what are you talking about? What are you trying to get me to do? And so then they
explain
the situation.
Yeah. Which is kind of cute because it was supposed to be Grace that was going to watch them.
Which
and
is Mr. Edwards' girlfriend.
Yeah.
What would the term be back then? Lady friend?
Beau.
Beau.
Well, that's
for
man.
the guy, yeah.
Hello, doggy. I don't know what
Lady
the woman.
friend.
Yeah.
So Mr. Edwards agrees.
And we do get a Charles here because
They go inside.
Ma is like, Charles.
And
Men can't watch girls, apparently, because Ma is just very, like, sus about Mr. Edwards staying with her children.
yes. So the girls are like, we'll be good. Mr. Edwards said he'll watch us, so it's all fine. But Carolyn is, she's not so sure.
Yeah. And then we get this quote from Charles that says, I'll feel a lot safer having a man around.
Yeah. So that too.
Women can't protect
Which
others.
is just also crazy because Pa was like leaving
Yeah,
Carolyn
he
and his
chose-
3 kids in Kansas, in the middle of nowhere. Like, they're not even in a town. Like, I feel like Walnut Grove, even though they're not like in the immediate town, like, I feel like they're in a pretty safe spot.
Yeah,
They have people nearby if they needed help,
right.
you know. So I feel like Pa should not have been concerned about a woman watching them. But now
Right.
he feels better because Mr. Edwards, who is certainly incredibly competent.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, especially because he leaves Carolyn with the children when he goes to Mankato every
Right.
other time.
Right.
So,
But yeah, so they convince Carolyn. So she says, okay, I guess it's all right. Not those exact words, but she gives in. And they head off on their trip.
and there are a few things that happen, like, right at the end as Ma and Pa are getting into their buggy wagon, whatever you want to call it. Mr. Edwards is, like, throwing Carrie up in
Yeah.
the air. And Carolyn says, oh, I wouldn't. And Mr. Edwards says, oh, kids love it. And he's just like, okay. And then Ma is, like, turned around yelling things
She
to the
keeps
girls.
telling them, like, don't forget to do this. And
Yeah, the chickens. And then she says, watch out for rattlers in the grass. Never once have we ever heard them say anything about
But we
watching
do
out
see
for
Rattler
snakes.
this episode.
We do.
So she's yelling out, and Charles is like, Carolyn, chill.
It's
Like,
fine.
It's fine. This is supposed to be a vacation. Calm
Enjoy
down.
your holiday.
So
Then we get Mr. Edwards getting food ready for the girls.
right.
And Laura and Mary are eating like normal, but Carrie is not eating her food. She's being a little bit difficult. So Mr. Edwards is, like, trying to spoon feed her, and he says, open up your face, trying to get her to eat. And I liked that a lot.
And she ends up taking the spoon and slopping it on Mr. Edwards' face.
Yeah.
One thing I noted is, what are they eating?
I don't know.
It
I was
looks
wondering.
Disgusting.
Yeah, horrendous.
It like maybe some kind of stew, but it really just looks like
It kind of just looks like ground beef and refried beans.
mixed together.
Yeah.
It does not look
Your mom
appetizing.
does that for tacos.
Well, yeah, but if you're gonna put it in a crunchy shell with cheese and tomatoes
Yeah, not
and
just, like,
onions,
by itself.
Yeah, I don't want to eat just straight up beans
and
meat
beef.
mixed together.
Yum.
But yeah. So
Oh, and the girls don't want to eat all of their food. No, they eat all of their food. Mr. Edwards ends up giving Carrie's plate to Jack to
Right.
lick. And he's like, oh, we don't have to do the dishes. Jack will take care of it.
Right.
And the girls are like,
they're astonished.
okay.
And,
And then as soon as he, like, goes outside, they, like, run and start
clean up,
cleaning
and
the
they're
dishes.
like, we can't tell Ma that this happened, or she would be really upset.
Yeah.
One thing that I also noted, and we'll see this come up as Mr. Edwards continues to struggle with caring for the girls. The one thing that I was like, okay, obviously it's been a while, you're a little rusty, but we know that he had a wife and a daughter that both passed away.
Right.
And I kind of, like, was surprised, like, that he was surprised by some, like, normal kid behavior, like, from Carrie.
Yeah.
Just, like, having trouble getting her to eat, like, her crying in the middle of the night. We'll, like, get
Yeah.
to that stuff. Just some of these things he seemed, like, really, like...
Shocked by.
And I'm like, you had a kid, so I feel like these are kind of...
Yeah. Maybe it was just that he was gone a lot to
Maybe.
work, so he didn't have to deal with that a lot.
Maybe.
I did note that evening, as the girls were getting ready for bed, they tell him that they need to pray. They need to say their prayers
Yes.
in front of him. And that was very weird to me.
Yeah. And then it's just, like, this rehearsed prayer.
Yeah,
like,
and he's, like, in a rocking chair, and he's like, oh, you can't just say your prayers? And they're like, no, we have to say it in front of you.
Is it at this dinner that Mr. Edwards tells them the tall tale about him getting his
Yes.
life saved? So at dinner, he tells the girls a story about getting, like, pinned under a tree and some Indians saving him. And he says the Indians have a custom that when they save somebody's life, they give them an Indian name.
A new name.
And so they're like, well, what name did they give you? And he says, have you ever heard of Sitting Bull? And Laura says, no. So then he says, well, that's what they gave me, Sitting Bull. So, you know, we got this kind of funny moment where Mr. Edwards is like, haven't heard of that. But then later when they're getting ready for bed, Mary's like, yeah, he made that up. Like, Sitting Bull is like,
an actual historic figure.
right. And Laura's like, so he was lying? And Mary's like, well, you know, maybe there's more than one.
Yeah.
But Laura's disappointed that he's making stuff up.
Just telling tall tales.
Okay.
And then we jump back to Ma and Pa in Mankato. And I think that they're
but before they get there, we get a scene of them on the way.
Okay.
And they're sleeping on the dirt.
Oh, right.
Under the night sky. They didn't even, like... what confused me is that they have, like, a tarp
wagon
for their wagon. That they, like, have when they're traveling from the house in the big woods to Kansas.
That the girls sleep in.
Right. And so, but then when they're going to Mankato, they just have the back of the wagon open. They didn't do that. And I'm like, I would much rather have, like, a little covering and, like, sleep in the back of the wagon than just on the dirt outside.
On the ground.
But they're not, you know, they're supposed to be sleeping, but Carolyn keeps making comments about things that she's worried about. What if they forget this, or what about this? And
the eggs. She's really concerned that they won't take the eggs to the Olsons.
And Charles tries to bribe her, and he's like, shut up, and I'll get you a new bonnet. And Carolyn clocks this. She's like, are you trying to bribe me? And he's like, no, I'm trying to give you an incentive to do something. She's like, that's literally the definition of a bribe.
Like, you kind of stupid, Charles.
But it works because she's like, okay, new bonnet. And I thought this was really funny because, like, I guess a new bonnet was, like, the equivalent of, like, a fancy piece of jewelry or something.
Yeah.
Like, new bonnet.
I have a note on that later.
But anyways, so she calms down, and
then we go back to Mr. Edwards, I think, in the middle of the night, and Carrie isn't wanting to go to bed.
Right.
And he tells her, you got to have your sleep too, or you'll be short forever.
Yes.
I liked that quote. I thought that was fun. And then we do notice that almost every time we, like, cut back to a scene with Mr. Edwards, old Dan Tucker is playing in the background, just like an instrumental version. And then at some point, he normally, like, starts humming it. And a couple times he starts singing it, but it is, like, always on in the background for him. It's just his theme.
He's a little special.
Yeah. And then we wake up the next day and they're doing chores, and Mr. Edwards is trying to put the laundry out to dry, and he's like halfway through it, and he looks over and Carrie has pulled down the fresh sheets into the dirt.
It's funny that you say this because when I watched it, it looked to me like he hadn't fully draped the sheet over, like, so that half was hanging on both sides. It looks like he did a poor job and he didn't clip it down.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure, unless I missed it, I don't think we ever actually see Carrie pulling the sheet. We see Carrie playing with the sheet on the ground.
And it just falls.
But I thought it just fell, and I was like,
Okay.
it's Mr. Edwards' fault because he's not doing a good enough job with laundry. But either way, he's frustrated with Carrie, so.
And this is where we start to get more character growth from Carrie.
As much character growth as you can get from one like Carrie.
One like Carrie.
I was trying to say, I was gonna say as much character growth as you can get from a character like Carrie, but then I was like, I don't like how many times I would be saying character, so I was like, one like Carrie. Let me change that character to one.
She's special. Oh, that's okay. And then we see, like, she keeps running away from him, and he keeps having to stop what he's doing and go get her. And then you see that he ends up tying a rope around her and tying it to himself. And I put that he's basically the inventor of the child harness.
Oh, yeah.
That we see now.
Yeah.
So.
Kudos to Mr. Edwards.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we jump back to Mankato.
Yes.
What are they doing there?
They're at a fancy restaurant having dinner. And they're having soup. And I put that the soup looks absolutely horrific. It looked disgusting.
Aren't they having, like, chicken and vegetables, too?
Yeah, they have, I think it was like a 2 or 3 course meal. Like, they have the soup, and then they bring them, I think, steak and potatoes. And then maybe, like, a little dessert or something. And I also noted that Ma's bonnet didn't match her dress at all. So I didn't know if that was pointing to Charles being like, I'll get you a new bonnet that it matches your dress. Or just they didn't have enough bonnets to match.
Why did they wear bonnets inside?
I don't know. I think it was just a fashion thing.
I'm trying to think if, like... I'm trying to remember if, like... when Carolyn is and isn't wearing one. Because the thing is, like, Miss Beadle doesn't wear one in school, does she?
She wears one and then normally takes it off, like, as she's walking in.
Yeah, so, like, I always kind of thought it was more like you wear it outdoors, so, like, traveling and stuff, you weren't getting dusty, but then indoors, so I thought it was a little weird that she was wearing it at dinner.
Yeah. But I noticed that the other women were wearing them as well, so it wasn't just her.
Huh.
But
maybe it's only in, like, your home.
Or fancy. Maybe it was like a fancy thing.
Maybe.
Like the Kentucky Derby.
We're going to look, maybe we'll look that up and we'll have that ready for the next Little House lore.
Yes.
What's up with the bonnets? Or maybe we'll do a little short episode. What's up with the bonnets?
Yeah, just the bonnet talk.
Bonnet talk.
Speaking of Kentucky Derby hats, do you know how much those things are? They're called fascinators. And I was just looking this up because we were in Lexington and we were looking at horse race stuff. They're like on the cheap end, like $400. They get up to thousands.
Oh my gosh.
It's like we need to be making these. We can make some hats.
We're gonna make some hats.
We can make prairie themed hats. We can have some wheat. That's all I got.
Don't know if we're gonna be making hundreds of dollars, but we'll try.
Maybe tens of dollars. Oh, and they do talk about how much the meal cost.
Carolyn brings it up. Like, she's really kind of killing the vibe.
She really is. And we see this from Charles later.
Yeah. But he's like, don't worry about it. And she's like, how much did it cost? And he's like, you don't want to know. Like,
she's like, hummingbird portions at buffalo prices. And
which is, like, also funny to me because, like, it may have... The soup did not look great. It may have been expensive, but it didn't look like hummingbird. Like, there was plenty of meat, and it's multiple courses. So, like, what do you normally eat at home?
Yeah, they normally have slop. So...
Yeah, and this is where they say, right, or what does Carolyn say? Like, she asks Charles if it's good or something. He's like, it's great. And she's like, you're supposed to say it's not as good as my cooking.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, it's definitely not as good as your cooking. But, yeah, I'm like,
But then he's like, but I wouldn't want to lie. She says, like, aren't you going to
Oh, yeah,
say
she says, aren't you
something.
going to say that it's, like, not as good as my cooking? He's like, well, I wouldn't want to lie. But then he
he's
adds
joking.
on.
And he's like, because it's actually better. Or no, because yours is better.
Yeah. And then... Just a momentary lapse. I'll be back momentarily. I don't like how I said momentarily twice. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, but Carolyn shouldn't be bragging about her cooking because it is slop.
It's gross. And then I don't think that they bring up the girls at all. Or she might start saying something and Charles is like, now Carolyn. And then she stops. And then we go back to home.
And is this where it's raining?
I think so. We're back at dinner.
Oh, well, so no, I remember now.
Oh,
Jack is barking. He's looking for Carrie, and Jack is barking. And so Mr. Edwards runs over, and Jack is barking at a rattlesnake. So he grabs his gun and
blows this thing to pieces.
he blows the head off, but the body is pretty intact. And that's what, I was watching this with Samuel, and he's like, that thing would be like, with that kind of gun, would be like a ton of pieces. Like, it wouldn't be. But
Fallacy.
so he picks up the body, and he's like, rattlesnake
Dinner!
soup for dinner.
Gross.
And so he makes this, and he eats it, and he loves it.
And it looks awful.
And the girls are like, we're so full. Like, we...
And I put, I'm going to start smiling how Laura did when she says, it's awfully good, Mr. Edwards, but we're just stuffed. Because she was like, it's awfully good, Mr. Edwards. It's really great.
So he's like, oh, well, that's okay. It'll keep until tomorrow. So then they try to get Jack to eat it when Mr. Edwards isn't looking, but that doesn't work.
And he's just like,
either.
And then runs away.
So they're stuck with this terrible dinner.
And they're getting ready for bed. And Carrie's nightgown is backwards. And I have noticed this in multiple episodes now. So maybe it's not backwards, but it's literally like
the
open or it's tied really tight at the top and then like open, kind of like keyhole, and then straight.
Huh.
And but like low for a child. Like it seems like that would be the back. I don't know.
And then in the middle of the night,
well, we get the reading first. Because Carrie is not wanting to go to bed. And Laura's like, well, Pa normally reads her a bedtime story. And we get Mr. Edwards can't read.
Right.
So
but
he cleverly goes about it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to admit that to the girls. So he says, he kind of is like making up the story. And they're like, Carrie doesn't like that. Like, she likes it read just straight from the book. And he's like, well, then why don't you read it? I don't want to do it that way. So, I think Laura reads the story.
And she does like the voices that Pa normally does.
Yes. And then later, Laura and Mary are talking about this. And Mary says, like, you know Mr. Edwards can't read, right? Mary's picking up on this stuff. And then it is at this point or shortly after that the girls realize they have not collected the eggs.
But first,
I've just. But eventually,
first,
we're gonna get there.
We get back to Ma and Pa in Mankato, and it's also nighttime there. And they're in bed, and Carolyn is having a nightmare that the children are there, which I thought was hilarious.
She's like, I'm coming, Carrie.
And she's like starting to get up and like putting her robe on, and Charles like wakes her up.
He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, we're on our second honeymoon. And
so she's like, oh, it was just a bad dream. And she's like trying not to let on. She's like, I want my bonnet. Like, this doesn't count.
Like, God damn it, I'm getting that bonnet.
So she's like, oh, it's just a bad dream. And so like she starts to lay back down, and Charles is like giving her this look. He's like,
yeah.
And the way he says it, he's like, this is supposed to be our second honeymoon.
Yeah. And this is a shirtless Pa scene.
Yes, yeah.
By the way.
And so like he's kind of looking at her, and she just lays back down, and he like looks at her for a minute longer, and then he has this look of like, ugh. Not getting any.
Yeah.
And you really would think that living in a cabin with 3...
Cake.
Alexa, stop!
40-minute timer stopped on garage echo dot.
You really would think that
Do you need
living...
to get it?
In a minute.
Okay.
I was just going to
Sorry
finish
about
this
that,
thought
Kate.
or I'll forget. You really would think that living in this tiny cabin with 3 girls and one, like, literally pretty much at the foot of your bed, that any opportunity where you're away from home...
You'd be taking advantage of that.
Yes, but Carolyn's, like, instead, she's like, let me sleep. Which, honestly, relatable.
Fair enough. She's got to get a cake. Okay, so after we see Charles very disappointed that he is not actually having a second honeymoon.
He's not going to be getting any double jacking
No
tonight.
double jacking. No single jacking either. Well, I guess maybe. He takes a little time to himself. Then we go to momentary lapse. Then we go back to the girls, and like Amanda said,
now I am correct. So we go back, and the girls wake up in the middle of the night, and they realize that they've forgotten to collect the eggs. And they are worried. Why are they worried that they can't collect them until morning? Because the chickens will peck them?
I don't know. Maybe because then they won't lay more eggs.
They say something about, there's some reason.
And it's pouring rain.
Why they have to get the eggs before morning. Yeah. So it's pouring rain. They put on coats and stuff, but it's still pouring. They run out and get the eggs. They have a hard time getting them out from underneath the chickens, but they manage to.
The chickens start like clucking and making
all
noise.
This commotion. As they are headed back in, all this noise has woken up Mr. Edwards. So he grabs his gun.
And he's like looking out the door, and he's like, "Chicken thieves!"
And then the girls come inside, and as they come inside and startle him, he shoots a hole in the roof.
Yeah.
And then the rain is pouring in. He's yelling at the girls, still in a Mr. Edwards way.
Yeah.
But he's like, how do you expect me to explain that to your mom and pa? And what are you guys doing? And they're like, we had to get the eggs. And he's,
I think he's like, why didn't you wake me up? And they're like, we didn't want to get in trouble.
So now they have this hole in the roof.
And it's a fairly large hole, and it's pouring down rain. And he puts a very small bucket underneath it that isn't at all going to catch all of the rain. And you can see that, like, it does a pan above the house, and you can see down, and, like, it's just catching, like, the middle of the raindrops. And I was like, it's going to flood the floor, too. Apparently
it's fine.
Apparently it's okay. Then we go back to Mankato. And here I have Why Were Bonnets a Thing? So this is perfect. We could have a bonnet episode.
Yeah. But Ma is in a shop looking at some new bonnets.
Yes. And the bonnet was $2.50.
Which was expensive for the time.
For then. And this made me think. I was like, how come it was so cheap then? But arguably it was probably harder to make. Like, harder to source the materials. Harder to make because it was handmade.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's easier because it's easier to get fabric and they have machines make things, but it costs more.
Wow.
And Josh looked it up, and
what's the inflation?
It would be $2.50 then is like $75 today.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So pretty expensive for all things considered.
A little bonnet.
But it was, it's a nice bonnet.
It was a cute bonnet. But then as they're in the store, a lady comes in worried about her daughter.
I think I don't know if it's daughter and son, her kids in general. Yeah. She's like, have you seen them? And the shop owner is like, no, I haven't, but if I do, I'll send them your way or whatever.
And of course, Ma's like, very worried.
She's like, well, where are her kids? Like, you know, she can't find her kids. And she's like, no, she's just crazy.
Her kids have been dead for years.
And she just lost it. And what her kids burned in a fire, right? Yeah. Pretty classic prairie death. Burned in a fire. Maybe we should make that a segment too. Like how many, like blizzard, like how death count.
Death count.
We could do a death count and then cause of death.
Yeah.
And then do a little.
Good. That's good.
Little
I like
stats analysis.
Here,
yeah.
I'll add it.
Okay. So her kids died in a fire. I think I can remember all the deaths that have happened thus far.
Yeah.
We have the guy being blown up. The one lady just dying from reading a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's all though.
Yeah, we haven't had many.
Yeah.
And then we have this brief mention of her children dying in a fire. And so as soon as she says this, Carolyn puts the bonnet back and just starts walking out because obviously now she's thinking about the girls and she's worrying about them, so she feels like she hasn't earned the bonnet.
And I think Charles tells the lady in the store, because she's like, you don't want the bonnet? And he's like, we'll come back later. They don't go back later.
Yeah. Which I was just like, you haven't said anything, take your bonnet. Like, get your bonnet.
I know.
But they leave. And then we jump back to Walnut Grove again. Okay, yep. And so Mr. Edwards is working on fixing the roof.
I think that's where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's working on fixing the roof, trying to repair it so that obviously Charles and Carolyn do not notice or are not upset. And then he can't find Carrie. She's like playing beneath him. He's watching, but then he can't find her.
Yeah, and he says here, now I'm not going to panic here. The main thing's not to panic.
Yes.
And I told Josh, I was like, this scene is me like looking for Josh when I can't find him.
Yeah.
Because I very much have like rapture PTSD, and I like if I can't find Josh for like 5 seconds,
even like at my own house, like
yes,
just, like if he's outside and I'm like looking in all of the rooms.
We have literally gotten home from dinner and have both been getting out of the car, and I'll be out of the car and I'll turn and I won't see him. I'm like, Joshua, where did you go? And he's like, I'm tying my shoe. And he's like, I'm right here. And I'm like, I thought you disappeared. So that's me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to panic here. The main things, I'm not going to panic.
But he definitely panics. He can't find Carrie anywhere. And then do we see where he does find her?
Yeah, she's under Ma and Pa's bed.
Okay, so
I think she like grabs his ankle or something.
He finally finds her, and then he takes her up on the roof with him and nails her dress to the roof. So it's a classic moment.
Very clever. Which he should have just used the rope tie.
The rope tie.
And then we go back to Mankato, and Carolyn wants to go to a prayer meeting.
Yes, but Charles is like, that's not a honeymoon activity, or he says
which is like, good for you, Charles.
Yeah, so instead they go to watch a play.
And he gets them a box at the theater.
And he says like he was talking to somebody that day, and they said it was the funniest play they had ever seen.
Yeah.
So they're looking forward to it.
And it was like the last day that it was going to be there or something.
They're looking forward to it. They go to watch this play. And this play is like basically these children, this mom like leaving her children, and the children being like, Mother, please
don't leave us.
Please do not leave us. We need you. And then the mother is like, I have to go. And she's
follow my heart.
And I'm like, where's the comedy?
I know. I was like, what kind of play is this?
Like, I mean, obviously this is a small part of it, but it's, and I don't think do they even make it through the play? No, they
Carolyn
leave
starts crying.
Carolyn starts crying.
And you see Charles, he's just like, ugh, okay, come on, let's go.
And
poor Charles. I sympathize with him this episode.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah. So they leave mid-play, and then he's like, we'll head home the next morning.
Yeah.
Which is cutting their trip short.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but when they were, like, going back, he says that, she says,
I'm sorry, I guess it wasn't much of a honeymoon, was it? And he said, if our first honeymoon was like this one, then this one wouldn't have even happened. Basically saying that, you know, they were getting it on for the first honeymoon.
But if it hadn't been like that, he would have been out of there.
Well,
That's how I took it. But
I took it as the
like they wouldn't have kids. So
yeah, they wouldn't have kids,
to.
so they wouldn't need the second honeymoon to go away. But he was like, if it had been, yeah, if the first honeymoon had been like that one, he's like, so obviously they were very different. So
Yeah. And then we get back to Walnut Grove, and Mr. Edwards is playing with the girls
And he's
on the
giving-
floor. He's like pretending to be a horse or something.
and he's giving Carrie a piggyback.
yeah.
And Laura and Mary are like, we want to do it. But he's like, okay, hop on. So all three of the girls get on his back.
And then he hurts
like,
his back.
And he like seizes up and he's, yeah, he has thrown his back out.
Yeah, and I said that this is like your dad.
Yeah,
when he
my
hurts
dad
his back.
throws his back out a lot. And like, it's really difficult to balance the, like, you have genuine sympathy. Like, you feel bad because you know he is in pain. But the way he walks when he throws his back out and the noises he makes as he walks, it's really hard to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
But
So. And then.
we see Charles and Carolyn heading home.
Yes.
And they pull up to the Mercantile.
Right.
And I think
I
Laura and Mary see them
I
in the
think
wagon.
they had just taken the eggs.
Yeah, and so they tell Mr. Olson, like, we're not ready yet. We didn't think they were going to be back yet. You need to
Right.
stall them. So Nels comes in clutch.
Yep.
Um,
Saves the day.
so they have stuff that they're supposed to be unloading. And Charles says, like, hey, I'm going to take Carolyn home, see the girls, drop her off, and then I'll come back. And he's like, oh, I have somebody that really needs some of this
Flour or
stuff. Yeah,
something.
right now. And so Charles is like, okay, well, we can unload it now. So they unload the wagon, and the girls rush home to get everything cleaned up and
Yeah.
put together before Ma and Pa make it back.
Right. And I don't remember when Mr. Olson, when Mr. Edwards says it, but to one of them, he says, well, I'm your ma now, so stop it. Because they're like aggravating him or something, or not doing it how he wanted them to. And I thought that was really funny.
But so they get back, and I don't really
They're
remember
able
the
to get everything done, and Mr. Edwards is just kind of like limping around, hunched over because of his back. But they get everything done, and Ma and Pa get home. Girls are all excited. They run out. Mr. Edwards conveniently just kind of steps out of the house, and there's the barrel there, so he's just kind of leaned on the barrel so he doesn't have to stand up all the way. And Ma and Pa are like, oh, so everything went well? And he's like, oh, yeah, of course, because he was able to get the roof fixed.
Yeah, easy, no problem.
Can't even tell. And Ma says, everybody looks blooming with health. And I thought that was
An interesting way.
very, I don't think I've ever heard blooming with health.
That's what. See, so from now on, if I want to compliment someone, I'm gonna say you look blooming with health.
Yeah.
And if I want to insult someone, I'm gonna say Willie's right. He does look like a scarecrow, and he's addle-brained too.
Just getting all kinds of insults.
I mean,
and
I'll
compliments.
take out the Willie's right part, but you look like a scarecrow, and you're addle-brained as well.
No, I think that you should leave the Willie so that they think you know someone else that they know. And they'll be like, who
and so
the
they
fuck
think a
is
lot
Willie?
of people are talking about them. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, and then,
I think that's pretty much it.
That's it.
They go inside. Ma and Pa are all smiles. The girls are happy, and Mr. Edwards just kind of starts
Hobbling
hunching
away?
over.
Hunch.
He's hunched over.
Hobbling away.
There we go.
Hunched over.
Obviously humming Old Dan Tucker.
Right. So this is another happy ending episode.
Yeah.
And low trauma. I put 0 if we no trauma for this episode.
Yeah, no. Survivability, who would we be?
Probably Mr. Edwards taking care of the girls.
I mean,
We would survive.
yeah.
It would be
Josh and I had to watch 4 children one time, like right after we got married. And it was a time. I think that's when it really solidified that we weren't the having kids kind of people. But I could do it.
Yes.
So,
Survivability, we'd be fine. We would
1.
probably do a much better job than Mr. Edwards.
Yeah.
And
Charles count 1.
Charles count 1.
And shirtless Charles scene
Yes.
1.
Favorite line?
You do yours first.
I don't have one.
Through. Oh, okay.
I do like the one like.
Oh, open up your face.
Oh yeah, that one was good. I do like the I'm not gonna panic. The important thing is not to panic.
Yeah, that one's very good.
Okay, big opinion.
I was gonna say I think that I start to feel more sympathy for Charles in this episode.
Yeah, I feel like especially too because like he took like found a babysitter initially and like surprised her, like put in the effort too. And I'm not, like that doesn't necessarily mean he should get something in return.
Right.
But he's trying to make it a nice trip for her. He's spending the money on the nice dinner, and she is being a little bit annoying.
Yeah, and like he's like, come on, we can't just have a couple days where it's focused on us. And yeah,
apparently not. My big opinion. There are so many scenes in this episode where Carrie is eating. And no one wants to see
a messy child eating.
Really, anyone eating. Like, whenever I see commercials of people, like, shoving burgers in their face, like, that is disgusting. I don't want to see people eating. That grosses me out. But, yeah, the kids with stuff smeared all over their face, it's not cute. And I'm not a fan. And
don't want to hear chewing.
This has been going on since I was we found home videos of me when I was a toddler. And my mom would always, after kids eat and they get stuff on their face, like they would always use a rag to wipe her face off.
Yeah. And
there's a video of me eating my birthday cake and I get some on like the outside of my face and I immediately am like, I need a rag. Like most kids just don't know. I was like, I need it gone.
Before I can move on.
I was not okay with it. But yeah, so my big opinion is that no one wants to see these close-ups of children eating with their mouths open.
Yeah, that's
gross.
Good. Also, one thing that we can close with. We already talked about Pa being the original duck lip inventor.
Yes.
Also, noticed with the current trend of saying one word in different manners, I guess. Different emotions.
Mm-hmm. Same phrase, but using different tones and emotions.
I think that Carolyn is kind of the inventor of this because she does that with Charles.
Charles.
So I thought it would be fun if Manda and I did our best impressions. So what do you think? Maybe we can do, I think the first one that people normally do is surprised. And then disappointed.
Chastising, maybe. I feel like she does that a lot.
Okay.
And then I think we need a special one. Flirty. And then maybe one for, falling out of a tree or...
Worry.
Yeah. Concern.
Yeah.
But Carolyn's level of concern. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Okay. Are we each going to do each one?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, surprise. Charles.
Okay. That's good. Charles. That's my surprise.
All right. Disappointed. Charles.
Oh, that was good. Charles. I don't know why my voice got so
that was deep.
Mom turned it into a
That sounds a little more like a sexy time.
Does it? Does your voice get
Yeah, that's how...
Charles.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Chastising. Charles.
Good. Charles.
That's good. All right.
Flirty.
Charles.
Very good. Okay. Charles.
A little different take. Okay.
Yeah. Worried.
Worry.
Charles! It's good. Okay. Charles!
Just a little. I really gave it my all there.
So, fun little take on Ma's tradition of saying Charles.
Do you say Josh's name a lot? I feel like it's funny to me how often she uses it, because it's like I do say Samuel's name frequently, but it's more like, hey Samuel, can you hand that to me, or like, Samuel, what do you think? You know, like it's more just like in conversation or like to get his attention.
Right. It's
not like if I see, like if something's happening or I'm concerned, I don't shout his name.
Yeah.
Like that's not the first thing that I say.
Right.
Or if I'm like disappointed in a situation, I'm not Samuel. Like,
yeah. No, I think, I'm the same. Which I do think it's funny that you call Sam Samuel and I call Josh Joshua. Like, we just call them by their full names.
Yeah. And just, it sounds more sophisticated.
And there's Oliver.
Hi, buddy.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next time for
Episode 10, which is School Mom.
School Mom. Another Carolyn one. Another one centered
another
on Carolyn.
focus on Carolyn.
So.
And then the next episode after that, we have a really good Charles scene. So get ready.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining this week of Prairie Drama. We unpacked a little trauma. This is Little House, Big Opinions. See you next week for more wild decisions.